Request the guests seated at the backward to occupy the seats forward so we can connect comfortably. A very good evening and a warm welcome to one and all present here. I am Dhimai and I am honored to be your host for today's evening program by the Institution of Engineers India, Vadodara Local Centre on the occasion of World Telecommunication and Information Society Day. To begin with, એમ કહેવાય ને જ્યાં શબ્દો ના પહોંચે ને ત્યાં સુર પહોંચે. So let us begin this evening with something soulful, a prayer presented in a musical form, played on harmonica by two of our senior engineers. We'll let the melody reveal them. So let's welcome our performers.
Good evening to all. We are presenting one prayer from a famous movie, Do Aankhe Bara Haath, 1957 production. Music director was Vasant Desai. So I take the lead part and my associate will take the music part. And there is no rhythm, so it will not be 100% production, but we will try to give the maximum impact wherever possible.
What a graceful performance. The melodies were presented by Mr. Apurva Bhatt, who is a textile engineer, and Sri Babu Bhai, an automobile engineer. But professionally, the machines are connected, but personally, they are connected to music. To officially commence today's evening, I would like to request Dr. Satish Kumar Joshi, Chairman of IEI Vadodara Local Centre, to kindly come forward and address the gathering. Sir, we are honoured to have your guidance.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As I see new faces this time, I will give first of all the safety instruction as you go and fly. It's a part of a safety instruction. There are two gates on when you turn your backside on left and right. Once you go out from left, go to the left and vacate the building. Similarly, if you go from right gate, vacate the building from right side. There are both two gates are open, so you can easily vacate the hall. And do not panic. Though there is nothing going to be happen, it's a part of a safety. As there are new people, see the new faces. That's why I have tell you. Now we start with the today's function is on World Telecommunication Day, which is celebrated every year on 17th May. Now I will brief you regarding Vadodara Local Centre and Institution of Engineers. The Institution of Engineers India, which was established in 1920 to get or the produce engineers in India, because at that time the Calcutta tram was started to install or it is started to make the tram in Calcutta, so they need an engineer, and to have engineers they have got training institute or certification is given by Institute of Engineers. That's why it was started in 1920. It has got 15 disciplines, starting from architecture to marine engineering and textile engineering. All disciplines are covered, engineering disciplines are covered in 15 professional bodies, and we have around 2.5 lakhs members all over the India, and there are two overseas chapters in Nepal, Sri Lanka. Two overseas chapters are there, and we are having 125 centers all over the India. This is Vadodara Local Centre is one of the oldest chapter in Gujarat. It was first started in Institute of Engineers started in Gujarat first as a Vadodara Centre, and then Gujarat Centre has been started up. So as being engineers, I request you to join the Institute of Engineers and be a member. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Joshi, for your insightful and for officially setting the tone for today's evening. So, before we proceed further, let us briefly reflect on significance of today, World Telecommunication and Information Society Day, which is celebrated on every 17th May. This day marks the founding of International Telecommunication Union in 1865, a global body that has played a key role in connecting the world through communication technology. This day is observed to raise the awareness about possibilities that digital innovation and communication technologies can bring to societies in education, in healthcare, in business, and beyond. So I'm privileged to introduce our keynote speaker for today. Yes, she is a remarkable leader in the field of sustainable energy, Ms. Foram Khanderia, AGM at L&T Green Technology. So, our keynote speaker holds her BTech in chemical engineering and has done her MBA from IIM Ahmedabad. She is a leader in sustainable energy and has led the India's first commercial green hydrogen plant. And she has also led the execution of the commercial hydrogen plant. So let us welcome Ms. Foram Khanderia. I would also like to request Mr. Joshi to felicitate her with a tulsi plant, which which is a symbol of respect and welcome. I would like to request Ms. Foram Khanderia to share her insights on today's theme.
Very good evening to everybody present here. I'm so happy to be here and be talking about gender equality in digital transformation. But more than anything else, I'm happy that I have a very good audience and some of my biggest cheerleaders sitting in the audience. So before I go into the subject, I would like to tell, while Deemai has of course introduced me that I've been working with L&T and all, I would like to give you a little bit of a backstory as to how I am here, what has my journey been like, and why should I be speaking on gender equality. So, as a young girl, I was someone who always remained inspired by my father. I can see him sitting there and probably he's smiling inside, I think, and being proud of me, which I'm very happy about. So I have always been inspired by my father, and like him, very young in my age, I decided that I wanted to be an engineer. So I did. I did become a BTech in chemical engineering and landed a role in L&T hydrocarbon. Now, the oil and gas industry traditionally has been a male-dominated industry, and it was no different in L&T too. L&T being an EPC company, we used to execute projects in some of the remotest and most difficult site locations. So for most of the women who are given roles in L&T, the roles are carved out for the back end, the engineering office or home office roles like they were called. Women on site was not very common. And in that setup, I joined the commissioning department. Now, you might know that a role of, or a meaty role of a commissioning engineer or somebody who joins commissioning department is usually at site. There is little that happens at office. I was fresh out of college, very enthusiastic and keen on experiencing what it is like to execute such large-scale projects. So, I went to my boss and I said, I think I want to go to the site that is in Bangalore. I want to be a part of the commissioning team. And my boss was very happy. He picked up his phone, and he's calling the site manager. He's like, एक लड़की है, एक GT है, join किया है अभी recently. I'm going to send her to site to be part of the commissioning team. And the instantaneous response from the other side was, अरे सर लड़की को भेज रहे हो? लड़की को क्यों भेज रहे हो? इतना बड़ा साइट है, 2000 कंस्ट्रक्शन वर्कर्स है, सेफ्टी का कैसे देखेंगे? वॉशरूम्स आर अ प्रॉब्लम, स्टे का अरेंजमेंट कैसे करेंगे? All of that was an issue, and in that moment, it was for the first time that I realized that I was in fact in a man's world. So my boss looks at me and he's like, are you still sure you want to go? I was like, so I was raised in an environment where I was told that there was nothing I could not do. And so I was like, yes, I want to go. So he's like, okay. And thankfully my boss also was someone who did not believe in such kind of differentiation. So he made sure that I got that opportunity. I went to the site, I did my part, I was part of the commissioning team, was applauded and all of that. That was in the first year of my journey. 13 years down the line, I've come from क्यों भेज रहे हो side से to a point where my business head directly calls me and say, Foram, I am giving you 90 days. Go and commission that plant. Yes. So yes, it has been quite a journey, and I think I have come quite far in this journey. But while I have done that in my own organization, आज भी कभी बाहर जाती हूँ and किसी को कहती हूँ कि I come from a construction business or an engineering business and commissioning is my main forte, I get 10 questions. Seriously? Commissioning? Really? मतलब तुम सच्ची साइड जाते हो? It is not before I answer at least 5 to 7 questions that people believe me that I actually have been part of a commissioning team or been in a role which has been traditionally defined for men. So while this is my personal journey, I know, and it being in such a setup, I know that it will resonate with so many women. Having faced these challenges myself, the issue of representation and equality is deeply, deeply personal to me. So when I was invited to speak on this subject, I was like, yes, this is my moment. I'm going to talk to an audience, talk to people outside of my organization, talk to other people and tell them that it's time that we make some space for women as well. And although my work is rooted in the hydrocarbon industry, I believe that there is value in it and there's value in drawing parallels, which can be applied to solving problems in any industries, and like we are talking about digital transformation today. Now, before I go any further, so that's my journey. Now, before I go any further, I would like to hear from the audience, or by a show of hands, could anybody, would you agree or disagree that you've seen such biases present in the society? कि लड़की है कैसे करेगी, all of that. Can you just tell me, do you think you've seen such biases prevail? Yes. You can just raise your hands if you've seen it.
No, not now.
Not now?
Before 30 years it was there. Yeah.
I'm glad that the view is changing. I'm very, very glad. Yeah.
I see your subject other way around. It is not gender equality. Equality has no gender.
Absolutely. Absolutely. But to that point, I will show you something which is very shocking, actually. If you see, some of our most basic things that we use routinely are designed for men. Do you know that the crash tests that are done in the cars are done for the men? They're not done for women dummies. And so a woman is more likely, or is about 50% more likely to get seriously injured in a car. Safety belts, you would think that it's designed for all, but it is not. And it increases even more if the woman is pregnant. Let me give you my own example. When I went to the site, not very very far in the past, there were no helmets, there were no safety boots, there were no harnesses that would fit me properly. And of course, safety is as much of a concern as for me. Even today, the desks, the chairs are ergonomically designed for a posture of a man. So even in the daily objects that we see around, in design of these things, that bias has been built in. And that's, we are not very far when we talk about digital tools also in that regard. Why would I say that? So maybe like this targeting statistic that is there on the slide, that 78% of the architects of the AI tools are men, and the AI models are being built on historic data. So if they're being built on historic data, they're learning from data which has those biases or some embedded these things in the values. For example, this is a scene in my house. My mom will say, Alexa, play Ghumar from Padmavat. Alexa will be like, play Chammak Chalo by Akon. My mom is like, Alexa, play Ghumar. Alexa is like, play Chammak Chalo from Ravan. Then my mom will get frustrated and she'll be like, Reva de, Alexa, tara thi nahi thai. But why is that the case, would you know? It is not because my mom doesn't speak a particular language. It is a known fact that voice recognition is like about 20% less likely to identify or react upon women's voices. Why? Because they've been trained with man's voices. So yes, in our systems, these biases have been built out. And why is it important to talk about it today? Because, like, if we see today, everybody has a smartphone. Everybody is using UPI, Google Maps, like a snap of a finger, right? And these new tools are going to be part of your future. So today, you have to be, and not just the part of your future, they're also going to define how you live, work, and take decisions. And it's going to be very influential. So for something so influential, it has to be designed for all. Which is why it is important we talk about it, we make space on design tables for women, and in fact, make it more inclusive, make the design more inclusive. Now, like I said, that while it may seem that the world is changing, women it is becoming equal and everything, but even today, only 15% of the workforce is represented by the women, which will be contrary to what we generally see, because we often see more women working today, but it's still not enough. Could you anybody of you think up of an answer why that would be the case? Why are fewer women in the workforce? Or what prevents them in continuing in the work?
Long working hours.
Yes, that is one of the reasons. Anybody else?
Many women prefer to be housewives.
That could also be a reason. Yes.
On the contrary, if you see the advertisement, 99.9 are women's only.
A very valid point. There is some kind of dominance in some areas. In fact, even if you see Instagram, we see a lot of women influencers today. So yes, that is changing. But I would like you to take through this. I was talking more because we are all engineers here. I was talking more about people women in STEM or roles of technology. So this is the journey map of a woman in technology. To begin with, at age of 6 or 8, like me, when I thought that like my dad, I would become an engineer, like 100% of women who aspire to be in roles in technology, take up roles in technology, things like astronomy, things like being an astronaut, engineer, or such fields. Out of them, only 60% of them pursue. And this is a recent report done by Stanford, that only 60% of the ones who aspire actually pursue through education. Only 15% graduate, 10% join the workforce, and even today we see less than 3% in leadership roles. There are hardly any women in technology who are in leadership roles, like Fortune 500, the list of top 50 entrepreneurs, I think there's only, or top 50 leaders, it's only 1 or 2 women at the best. So while we may, so the statistics are, staggering there. And the reason for that is many barriers. One is not just with respect to what meets the eye, but also what goes underneath, right? So these are some of the barriers that I've listed down. I think one of the things that was mentioned was, long working hours, which is, catered in like stretch assignments and things like, so are there any of these barriers that you recognize? Is there something that you recognize in this? Or have you seen them at play? Any of the barriers? Have you seen something like gendered hiring? कि HR के लिए लड़की को hire करते हैं. Have you seen something like that? Have you seen something like मैंने देखा है commissioning है तो लड़की को रहने देते मुश्किल होगा. That's something I'm saying from my personal experience. But in several other roles also I have seen that these biases, like you said, where long hours are concerned, women are not considered because it comes as a natural bias that women might not be willing to put in long hours, right? Then there's something, so some biases are very evident, but others are not so evident. Something like, the emotional tax. So having to prove yourself again and again and again. Let me continue my story in this regard. So when I told my boss कि मैं site जाना चाहती हूँ, and I went to site and I was working at site, मुझे कुछ responsibilities दी गई site पे कि ये देखना तुम्हारा काम है. But वहाँ पे जो मेरे manager थे, on day 1 of the review, to assess the progress of these activities, so the whole team was sitting, right? The manager was sitting, I was sitting, and there were other team members also sitting. मेरे एरिया का मेरा रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी का progress was being asked to somebody sitting next to me who was a guy, and I was dumbfounded. I'm like, ये तो मेरा area है, why are you asking? And that guy fortunately had an update, and he's like, sir, इसमें ये हुआ है, ये बाकी है. And again my boss is like, the manager there is like, अरे ये क्यों नहीं हुआ? I was like, you should be asking that question to me, not to the guy sitting next to me. But that was the level of discomfort. Like, he could not even address me directly. And from experiencing something, so these are the biases. Then time and again, I had to do my work. I had to go and step up and show it to him that this is my work. I have done it. And that's when that level of comfort was established. So that is something called emotional tax, where you have to keep on, stepping up again and again, proving yourself again and again. And let me tell you, it's harder than it sounds, right? There are also double standards. For example, if a guy is being aggressive, he's termed as passionate. Whereas if a woman is being aggressive, probably rude or attitude. These are also some of the things that we come across. Also, there are some hidden ladders. Men grow up faster. Women take time to grow in organization. So, while if you're an ambitious girl in an industry, well, yes, you have to break a lot of barriers. So, like I said, anybody else who wants to share their experience of having, gone through or broken these barriers? Or maybe even benefited from these barriers, like some of the men who would have benefited from the barriers. No experiences? Okay. So,
Madam,
huh?
just I want to share my views
Yes.
which I have seen during my career. In a department, a team is to be constructed, as you pointed out, for the commissioning team. It is a psychology of the senior officers that when a team of the that is the composition of the team is decided, there is a biasing, very strong biases towards women. One of the reasons is that everybody likes a person or a gender which is more versatile. We know for the commissioning, one of the points you mentioned that odd hours working also. So boss is always in search of a person which is and works as a needle also, which works as a scissor also, and multifunctional ability. So one of the factor I have experienced, and the mirror of the employment scenario. If you go to any standards, say Times of India, or in Gujarat Samachar, Rozgar, there are still today certain advertisement do appear only men's are preferred. So that is a very sorrowful part. And one thing is that unless you give opportunity, how one can prove oneself.
Right.
And that is also a very sorrowful part as regards to ability of the women, because those remain concealed under the soil, I will say. And the society as a whole, or a working environment as a whole, is not cooperating for such situation. So this is my experience I share on that.
Thank you so much for sharing your experience, and I resonate with your thoughts. I have, yes.
Physical fitness of woman is also a bias.
Sorry?
Physical fitness of a woman is also considered as bias.
Physical fitness
Yes.
of a woman
Yes.
is also considered as bias.
I agree.
Ah,
Definitely.
Every woman is not fulfilled 100% fit for
Right.
every factors of the site.
Correct. I absolutely agree. In fact, to add to that point, when I was at site, a lot of people, it was a joke. It was a joke on the site, but people, my colleagues would come, अरे फोरम तू वो वाल खोल सकती है क्या? खोल के दिखाना एक बार. ऐसा होता है. It does happen. Right. But how do we overcome these challenges? Is the next question that we have to answer. Because in today's times, not having women on the table is not an option. We need to have women. We need to have women on the design table. We need to have women where decisions are taken, right? So that the world is designed not just for half of the population, but for everybody. And how do we make that happen, right? So, yes.
Foramji, I have to add to your agenda for this subject. I want to share in one of the foreign assignment I had a chance to work. I had seen Chinese girl as a builder working at a high elevation, and that too very precision, meek and specialized material using eutectic alloy and all that for welding. So I was wondering why it is not happening in my country.
Right.
Because there is a lot of potential for working at the say ITI level or a workmanship, and definitely I have got a feeling that ladies, suppose welding, definitely it will be a very precise welding, then equivalent it has welding is there. And you take a X-ray of the particular joining, definitely it is not my experience, but since any precision work you decide, you devote to ladies. A family upkeeping, family making, education to the children and the rest of all, and taking care of the elder people also. If we can devote such all precise thing, why not on technical side? That is also wondering me about that.
That is so wonderful thought that you've shared, and that's such a great example of breaking the barrier on this glass ceiling, as we say. And if women from China can do it, women from India can certainly do it, right? So, how do we break these barriers? How do we go forward? I think the first thing that we need to do is talk like we are talking today. Unless and until we talk about it, unless and until we project ourselves, this thing is not going to change. These barriers are not going to break, and not many people will understand that, women can take up those challenging roles. Also, in organizations, what I think has worked the best for me is having allies and mentors in the same industry. So, like Sir said, he believes that women can do it. There were, like my boss believed that I could do it. I have had allies, I have had mentors who believed that I could do it. When I felt whether I'm right for a role or not, I went to them and they told me, "Arey, Foram, kya baat hai? Of course you can do it." And yes, I could, in fact. And that is what it takes. So, and here's the point I would want to make, that it's also upon the women who want to grow, right? It's upon them as well to step up and say, yes, I want to take up. If you get a no, go back again and ask for it till you get it. Because I'm sure when you ask persistently enough, that space and that position will be yours, right? Other part is also a lot of onus lies upon the organization also, where you create a culture, a bit of flexibility in the working hours, which suit women better. Let me give you an example here. Safety. Safety is a primary concern for employers when it comes to hiring women, right? Delhi में एक ऐसा case हुआ था. There was a woman working at a mall, going after the night shift, had a sorry incident, and because of that, there was an announcement that if you're hiring women employee, you were supposed to take care of their commute. What happened next? People stopped hiring women, right? Because of the added costs. But at the same time, if you look at my experience, like I said, that I was amongst 2,000 construction workers. I often spend my time at site, and there have been times where I've spent late night, like I've been at site at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I've not come back home. My parents don't know about this, but yeah, I've not come back home from work until very late at night because I was commissioning, and it's not something where you can just leave the site, right? But in situations like that, I feel a little proud also that my organization has taken every bit care to ensure that while I'm working, my safety is ensured, right? So if I'm at site, I will necessarily have a security guard watching out for me. So there's a form that I fill that I'm going to stay this late at night, and I'm supposed to report back to the security when I'm home. Sometimes it so happens that I'm tired and I sleep off, but the security guide will call me incessantly till I tell him that I have reached home safely. It's just a little thing that you need to do. It's not very difficult. You can really make that difference. And here's an example that I recently came across. It's from my organization, but it's something I feel very, very proud about. And so I thought that it is a good forum to share. So mining is traditionally considered men's industry, and there is a plant in Jharkhand that we've done for Tata Steel, and that plant has one shift which is completely operated by women. Every workman there in that shift, including security, is a woman. How could they do it? First of all, like we were saying, that physical strength, handling mining equipment, that was a challenge. There were some design modifications made so that it was easier for women to handle those difficult equipment. There was continuous funding during financial support during COVID. The HR took this special interest. It was, of course, a one-off site. So there was a special interest wherein the HR also acted as a support group, wherein women were supported in, handling difficult situations, maybe family-wise also. They started with a team of 6 and now have grown to a team of 47. And it's wonderful to see. I had a chance to meet one of the ladies from this team, and she came from a very humble background, and I could sense this pride in the fact that she was being able to handle machines which were handled by guys previously. And isn't that something worthwhile, right? And not just that, not just for the sake of it that we have women. I think having women in businesses also brings a different perspective, a different thought, and a different way of executing a business, right? And to that, I have a small exercise. I would like some volunteers, 2 or 3 men and 2 or 3 women, to join me here for this exercise. Can I have some volunteers, please? It's a very simple thing actually, just please. I also need some women to volunteer and partake in the activity. Otherwise, it will be of no use, really. Yeah, exactly. Come on, women, let's show it. We can do it. Come on, stand up. That's what we're talking about. Yeah. So we have one strong lady standing up. I need 2 more or 1 more at least.
Please join us.
Yeah, please. Yeah, come on. So I just want you guys to take 5 minutes. What you see behind you is a corporate office, like any of our corporate office. I think a lot of us would have seen right? Now this corporate office has workspaces. This corporate office has a breakout area, canteen, a library, all of it. There's a crash there. There is all sorts of things. There's gym, there's recreation area. This is a modern corporate place. Now the idea is the corporate wants that to manage all of this, to manage the accessibility of these spaces, to manage social engagement, to manage productivity, they design an app. So what I want you guys to do quickly is, we see so many apps on daily basis, right? I just want you to design an app for this corporate space, and maybe we can take 4 or 5 minutes to do that. Yeah, you can. Sorry. No, the app is to be made for that office, the social engagement, to manage the space.
Take a mic and let people know.
Yeah.
Yeah. You could say it in Hindi and English.
Yeah.
Also.
Yeah. Yeah, so this is an office space. उसमें ये सब कुछ है. There's a gym, there's a crash, there's canteen, there are workplaces. What we want to do is हमको क्या करना है? एक app design करना है.
For betterment of employee.
हाँ. For engagement of for user facilities, engagement of employees. All of, मतलब it's like a Facebook for the corporate office, right? तो corporate office के Facebook में आप क्या देखना चाहेंगे? That is what I want. And we will take 2-3 minutes for that. नहीं, you can just draw or write. Whatever you like it. Whatever you like. You can also do a joint effort. Yes, you want a sheet? Okay. So while they work on it, is there anybody else who would like to share their experiences in this regard? Or maybe I can also take questions if there are any questions. Yes.
Can I get a, am I audible? Yeah. No, it's okay. I think it's fine.
As I listened to you, I was just wondering, and I thought probably you're the best person to check this out with. You're the speaker for the day. So, in the year 2014, that's about 11 years ago, the Apex Court of India, the Supreme Court, declared that transgenders are recognized as the third gender in our country. And I was just wondering, in these 11 years, as individuals, as institutions, as society, as a nation, what have we done to make society more inclusive from a gender perspective and specifically for the third gender? Even application forms, whether it's for a university admission or for a corporate like yours, does it, either it should say not necessary to disclose your gender, or it should give 3 options. But mostly I don't see it happening. In fact, even today in your, everything that you said, it was just about men and women and no reference to the third gender. So just wanted to have your views on this. Thank you.
It's a very valid point, and in fact, when I was constructing this talk for today, I had that in my mind, whether not just from gender perspective, but in other regards also. There are many more, like even disabled people, differently abled people form part of this kind of inclusive initiatives for anybody or for society at large. And yes, it is a matter of that while gender equality in terms of women and all is quite spoken about and is addressed, these things are still far from being getting that mainstream attention from corporates or society also.
Does it even get mentioned?
For L&T, yes, I can speak on behalf of L&T. I am not sure of what happens in other corporates, but L&T, yes, we started talking about it. We do talk about not differentiating when it comes to, but again, the sad matter of fact is that while HR pushes that initiative where we don't differentiate, the ultimate hiring authority still is not very inclusive that way. So yes, we do have a long road to go. Although it's been 11 years.
Actually, it is very difficult because you have to change the society's mind. Even if you go in outside India, still people are not ready to identify this. They are now giving it. I don't want to declare the things.
Right.
That they have included. So changing of people's mindset takes around at least 2 to 3 decades. Only giving the decision and implementing immediately, it takes time. So according to me, when we pass and our children will come up, then automatically everything will be changed.
Yes, I would certainly hope that the coming generations become more aware,
Yes.
more inclusive.
Yes, possible.
And we be the torch bearers of that. And again, we may not wait for that long, right? We can start taking small steps and small actions from our side today itself because we're talking about it, right? Yes.
Don't you think that Israel is the best example for gender equality?
Why so?
Because they are giving equal opportunity in the military also, which is very tough.
Which is true, but I think we have seen that even our military gives that opportunity, right?
Just recently we have
seen that. And I've also had friends who worked in military, and like I'm saying, as long as the women are willing to step up and ask for it, there's no denying. And
actually, percentage in Israel is equal to 50%.
which is very good. Yeah, I agree. But the opportunities are there. You have to go and ask for it. You have to take those opportunities.
That is the need of the Israel at present.
That is compulsory.
That's why they have been ready.
Yeah, in Israel there is compulsory.
Any other questions?
I think you should quote the experience, your experience and Sudha Mukti's experience. Sudha Mukti wrote to Mr. Tata
Yes.
for advertisement of Tata company. The women did not do apply.
Yes.
He personally wrote to letter to Tata. Tata called her and he complained also. She was appointed.
Right, on the shop floor. On the shop floor. Yes.
I see you as a modern Sudha Mukti here.
Thank you. Thank you so much. That means a lot because I have in fact read that story and somewhere, maybe I did not mention it, but somewhere these little anecdotes are what we draw inspiration from. And it's very powerful that such women, lead the change that we're looking for. Request you to also wait here and maybe explain or talk about what you've written. Any other questions? And I think we'll wrap up in a minute. Do we have any other questions? Okay. So 30 seconds for you guys. So I think you can just keep it with you. This is yours, right? I will just request you to explain what you've meant to, include as features. Prashant Nair, yeah. Can you just please come here and tell me what you have
कंपनी में जो भी एम्प्लॉय है तो लंच में एक साथ लंच करते तो थोड़ा प्रोग्रेसिव रहता. कंफर्टेबल इन सिटिंग ड्यूरिंग रिसेस पीरियड्स. हमने देखा है कि जापान में रिसेस पीरियड में बहुत कंफर्टेबल सीटिंग रखा जाता है. कोई आदमी का स्टैच्यू रहता है या कोई कुछ भी ऐसा स्टैच्यू रहता है, बहुत कंफर्टेबल सीटिंग रहता है. तो 10-15 मिनट भी आप वो सीटिंग में बैठते हैं तो थोड़ा रिलैक्स हो जाते हैं पूरा 8 घंटे के लिए, 10 घंटे के लिए. मीटिंग इन एटलीस्ट एवरी वीक विथ HOD. ऑल स्टाफ HOD के साथ वीक में एक बार सब लोग मीटिंग करते हैं. ज़रूरत पड़े तो 1-2 बार ज़्यादा भी मीटिंग कर सकते हैं. तो वर्क प्रोग्रेस दिखता है और उनको भी कोई क्वेरी है तो HOD की ओर से कुछ ले सकते हैं. योर नेक्स्ट बॉस शुड बी आस्क यू इन एनी क्वेरीज इफ इन गोइंग वर्क. वो आपको पूछना चाहिए कि आपको कोई क्वेरी तो नहीं है. कोई सपोज़ कि कोई वुमेन है तो कुछ वो अपने ओर से कोई एक्सप्लेन नहीं कर सकती है तो उनको सामने से पूछना चाहिए कि कुछ है नहीं ना क्वेरी से, अच्छा चल रहा है ना, बराबर काम चल रहा है ना. एंड गेम्स एंड लाइट कॉम्पिटिशन्स इन एवरी पीरियड. तो क्या है, थोड़ा फैमिली जैसा हो जाता है और प्रोग्रेसिव वर्क भी होता है. थैंक यू.
हाँ, गुड इवनिंग ऑल. मैं एक ही चीज़ कहना चाहूँगा कि आजकल वर्क से सबका वर्क स्ट्रेस बढ़ गया है. आज के ज़माने में कॉरपोरेट में बहुत सारा स्ट्रेस रहता है काम के वजह से. तो उसको कम करने के लिए जो भी कॉरपोरेट्स है उनको ऐसी फैसिलिटीज़ प्रोवाइड करनी चाहिए इन द कैंपस. सो एम्प्लॉय कैन रिड्यूस देयर स्ट्रेस. जस्ट लाइक जिम एरिया हो, फिर कुछ एंटरटेनमेंट के लिए एरिया हो, रिफ्रेशमेंट एरिया हो. सो दे कैन reduce the work stress and increase their happiness index. और स्पेशली जेंडर की बात है तो मेंस एंड वीमेंस. So in our corporate still there is no such facilities for women's which are come after delivery, after pregnancy. She have to handle many difficulties during after joining baby birth. So there is no such facilities provided for women in today's corporate sector. So that's it.
Thank you. Namaste. I have designed one app for the corporate employees wherein I have prepared a dashboard and I have basically designed an Android app or iOS app. So nowadays we are using mobile devices. Even the corporate can provide the kiosk or the digital displays that employees can use. So I have taken the reception counter, gymnasium, library, canteen, cafeteria, then corporate employees engagement with each other, childcare, outdoor games, conference room, healthcare, and MIS. Again, helpline numbers and emergency contacts. So I hope I covered all the things because as we can see in this picture, the employees are working in that co-shared space, cubicles. There is a gym, there is a books over there, that corner. I have considered it as a library. And then there is a reception counter. Then there is a cafeteria. Then outside we can see the outdoor play areas. Then there is a conference room, maybe the one person is sitting over there. So by providing these facilities, we can enhance the productivity, and we can facilitate the employees to reach easily. So that was the entire thing I have just drafted.
So like before of the script, I would like to tell that I just joined as GET in one of the organizations. So like I heard about her challenges that she faced, like working at the site and all. So like I am like very glad to tell you guys कि मतलब in today's organization where I have been working, it is a very gender diversity place. So like basically there is gendered hiring, but the gendered hiring is for women. Like the companies come to our organization, they take women even for the manufacturing side purpose. So I'm very glad the transformation is taking place right now. And being a part of my robotics club, like I'm a mechanical engineer as well. I'm proud to say कि मैं आज drill भी चला सकती हूँ, grinding machine भी चला सकती हूँ, और welding भी कर सकती हूँ. So basically my app is the Corp Manager. So basically the features that I've included is the work, firstly is the work desk alignment. So like work desk alignment, we do have the equipments at our workstation, like be it the table, the desk, the chair. So any complaints if you want to raise, so we could raise through the work desk alignment. Or the second feature is sanitary and washroom facilities. So like features such as regular cleaning to update the employees that the washrooms and all the places are regularly clean and the all equipments are on place should be updated with all of the employees. And another thing, if we include a library, a track record of books and all the manuscripts and all should be included. And secondly, about the gymnasium, if we have a gymnasium, the app could serve as tracking of your health issues. Like if I'm working around 30 minutes with my with the treadmill, so for that they'll keep a track record and how much calories lost, and something could be innovated so that at least a track record of your health issues could be maintained. Secondly, the feature which I would want in an app, so raising the social concerns. There are employees who are not who are ambiverts and introverts and can't raise their concerns openly. So we could have a feature for raising social and personal concerns, which could be relate the concerns that are faced by the employees. So this could be the features in my app.
My name is Pranjal and I am from Pune. I did a job in R&D from last 7.5 years. Now I'm shifted to so now I'm in international marketing from last 5 months in Prakash Chemicals. When I was in R&D, I have also faced a lot of issues. I was in Kansai Nerolac and then Exalta coating system, which is in Vadodara. So from last 7.5 years, I was in R&D. So the problems that ma'am has explained, same was issue with me. I was not allowed to go for on site, even though I was a part of project. Then also the issues their plant was facing. That time also our manager used to send boys because the safety issues and so many challenges that a girl cannot handle. So after 7.5 years, I understood that I cannot grow in this organization. So I left the organization and now I'm in international marketing in Prakash Chemicals. So the app that ma'am has told us to develop for a company, I think there should be few things on the toolbox like a workplace area, canteen, library, gym, bathroom, reception, parking and meeting rooms, where we should have a facility where we can give our suggestions and feedback. There should be a map like if someone is new who can understand the whole industry, where is what and how to go there, and there should be suggestion box. And in case of bathroom, as the girl who said, like we should have few things which are the need of girls. So I think there should be app which should be created by considering both male and female employees.
Myself Kritika Wag. I am from KJIT College and I am doing computer engineering right now, SEM 2. And here are some features. My app name is Public Humans Facilities, And here are some features in the app. So the working time has the limitations maximum 8 to 9 hours. By this the person will not be bored with his profession or his work. And the second one is cafeteria in the working place. Cafeteria in the working place is necessary so the person will feel fresh and excited to get back to the work. And gymnasium. Gym for he or is good because when we fit or healthy, then we can do our work very actively or nicely. And fourth one is food providing through the company. It is a better decision because some of employees are coming to long locations, so it is not able for everyone to make the tiffin in early morning because some of ours has a very hectic schedules. And the fifth one is group discussion between the employees. It is also very necessary point to discuss because through discussions we can sort out the problems or the situations. Okay, thank you.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for volunteering and coming up on the stage and giving your thoughts. To the audience, I ask, did you see a difference in the suggestions that were given by men and suggestions that were given by women?
Yes.
Could you see the difference? I'll point out one very starking difference. Sanitation was brought up by two women. That's something that might not occur to men. So this is where I said that it is important to have women on the design table. And I'm sure the world will be a better place tomorrow. Right? If you have women in your design, if you have women making decisions for you. I'm sure everybody sitting here, like sir already mentioned, isn't your home a better place when women are around? Yes? Yes? I think we should hear a resounding yes on this matter. Isn't your home a better place? Yes. So the world will also be a better place with women partaking in business and driving the world. That's all from my side.
She is not just driving innovation in clean energy, but also actively mentoring futures of young engineers and technologies. Thank you so much for your inspiring talk. Please, one round of applause. So, any of the audience, Q&A session? Yeah, sure.
Actually, we celebrate 8th March as International Women's Day, but it should be, every day should be a Women's Day.
Thank you, sir. Any of more audience would like to come up and ask any questions or experiences? They're welcome. Anyone? Okay, so thank you. So moving further, I would like Mr. Joshi to felicitate Mr. Apurva Bhatt and Sri Babubai. Okay, they are not available right now, so we'll move further. To express gratitude, I invite Mr. Keyur Thakkar to present a certificate of appreciation to Miss Foram Khanderia. Now I request Mr. Keyur Thakkar to deliver the vote of thanks acknowledging today's event.
Thank you, Dimai. Thank you very much. Before I conclude,
I want to felicitate Dimai for her job today. Thank you, Dimai. I would like to share something. एक तो आज audience to participation बहुत सरस હતું. We had young people here today, and actually on the podium also we had young forum. In fact, for last 7 years I have been associated with this organization, and first time I have seen such young female here. Thank you for. Another thing, હું આજે આપને શાબાશી આપું છું કે I have found the right person for today's topic. One more thing I would like to share. Tomorrow we have organized a chess tournament for engineers. Anybody want to enroll? Please contact Himanshu Bhai. You can enroll there. And lastly, I would like to thank all of you. Before we disperse, we'll have anthem, national anthem, and then we'll go for dinner. Thank you all. Thank you. Please stand up for the national anthem.
I would like to request all the guests to join for the